Hello, you guys, you ladies, everybody out there, man. It's your boy Cam back with another basketball show, part of the Villain Sport Media Network, man. So, we've been doing these videos, breaking down the top 10 players at the position groups in the NBA. And we finished this series with the center position. So, before we get started, man, you know the drill. Give us a follow, give us a like, man. Check us out. We're trying to grow this channel. We're growing this network so we can get out there, you feel me? But you know the drill. We have so many good podcasters on our channel, man. Content creators, however you want to slice it, man. We got the football frame of mind, we got college sports villains, and no mercy sports. We all bring so much to the table as far as growing this. So check everybody out. Don't leave no stone unturned, man. You're gonna get your fix on what you need. So, nonetheless, man, let's get out here and let's start this thing, man. So, we got the center position coming up, man. The center position in the NBA is interesting, very interesting. It's actually pretty fun to watch how many centers actually initiate the offense. How many centers have a varying degree of skill set. Some defend very well. Some can score the basketball. As I mentioned, some can start the offense, man. So you have centers getting triple doubles out here. So the center has become probably one of the most valuable positions if you're not a guard heavy team. But nonetheless, let's get started with the top 10 NBA centers for the year. So you watch my breakdown so far. You know I start out with my honorable mentions, man. So my first honorable mention is Jared Allen from the Cleveland Cavaliers, man. Dude is a beast. He's a rim rattler. He dunks a whole lot. He has a physicality to him, man. He's not super tall. He's like what 6'9", 6'10", or something like that, which is tall by my standards. But in terms of centers in a traditional sense, he's not that tall. But like I said, his leaping ability gives him the advantage, and he is a beast. Uh, like I said, it's a toughness that the Cavaliers need. I mean, you got Mobley, and Mobley is a versatile four, so you need that oomph down there, you know, and he gives you that constant rebound threat and big piece for the Cavs this season. He has to contribute at a high level for them to win any games because you need that inside presence. Even though it's an outside league, you still need that inside presence, man. So shout out to Jared Allen, man. He's definitely on the list. But next one is Wendell Carter, man. Wendell obviously came over uh, from Chicago and carved out a really good niche, man. He does a little bit of everything. He defends pretty good. He shoots pretty good. Rebounds pretty good, and he can move the ball around as well. Not a super passer, but definitely got that skill set. So, and he's still a relatively young player, so the sky's the limit as far as how good he can really be. But on the Magic, he, he's a serviceable player, man. And the fact that he does so much well in terms of where his numbers are allows you to stick him anywhere, man. He just knows his role and he shows up and plays, man. And with a team so young like that, a guy that carves out a role this early in his career or has so much skill set in various positions and various instances of the game is really cool. So they're gonna need him to do everything. He's really kind of their glue guy, especially in the paint. So, but definitely on my honorable mentions list. I'm really excited to see these two players play and affect their team's winning percentages, man, just off doing the little things. So there you go. Let's get into the top 10, man. All right. So the first center on the list is Miles Turner for the Pacers. The guy's good. Guy's damn good, man. It's really cool to see how much he's developed over the years. Has a nice jump shot now, adding to his inside game where he's big presence down low. The pick and roll between him and Halliburton is nasty. The fact that he has a reliable jump shot now just expands their offense completely. And like I said, he's a physical presence down low, man. He does what he does, man. And he got a nice little off the dribble game, too. So Miles Turner, definitely number 10. He's one of the key players in the Pacers' chase for a championship, man. They don't get there without him. Let's just say that, man. He frees up a lot of things for them. But number 10 on the list, he's available 77 games. If he can get to 20, which is honestly hard to do considering the fact that they got Siakam, who is a 20-point scorer himself. It's only one basketball, and I know Halliburton wants to get his points, but if Halliburton just says, "Man, I'm gonna distribute and then take my opportunities when they come," hell, Miles Turner can get 20 points, especially if he ups his rebounds, right? But Siakam is good too. So you got to take it how you can get it, man. But either way, 77 games with 17 points and 7 rebounds, yeah, you can win with that. All right, let's see. Rudy Gobert, man, number 9 on my list. So Shaq and Rudy Gobert are not friends. Let's just say that. But one thing I don't agree with Shaq when he talks about Rudy Gobert is that he's not worth the 200 million he got from the Jazz, I believe, right? I don't agree with that. The man has 4 defensive players of the year, right? 4. Think about that. Think about the players that got 4 defensive players of the year in the NBA. It's Ben Wallace and Dikembe Mutombo, right? And think about other players that got a couple of defensive player of the years, or at least one. You think about Marcus Camby. People forget about Marcus Camby. He was really good. Tyson Chandler got a defensive player of the year. So when you sit there and you think about the importance of Rudy Gobert, he's important to setting the tone defensively. Now, granted, yes, everybody's not going to be Shaq. Okay? Shaq is one of a kind. He's one of the greatest big men to ever play the game. But to discount a person's importance in an era where defense isn't the thing anymore, I just think that's more valuable in the grand scheme of things, right? Like I said, the league has gone offensive for a while now, right? Crazy point totals and everything. So to have kind of a throwback guy that, I don't have to score because I affect the game defensively. They're not coming down in the paint really trying to yam on Gobert because he know that he's a really good defender. So it's interesting when you think about that. So I just think about like this beef with Shaq, and I just hate it, man. I hate it because it's like discrediting a player's impact on the thing, on the game, in the league, and everything. But winning 4 defensive players of the year is important. It means something. It means like you're taking a step forward, right? If I'm mistaken, Shaq doesn't have a defensive player of the year. Yes, I don't think he does. Now, Shaq does have he has the hardware to back all that talk up, right? He does. He does. He has valid points in saying when he says that Gobert isn't worth that much. I just disagree because Gobert does his thing, man. Like he does his thing every night. He defends every night, and he gives you a double double every night. Now, I will say that when Shaq says that he ain't him, so how can he get what I got, right? In a sense. But I think it might change this year because with Carl Anthony Towns out the way, there's gonna be a little bit of more open space, right? Considering the fact that Carl Anthony Towns is a 20-point scorer. I think for the Timberwolves to go further, it can't just be Anthony Edwards, right? So I believe this year you're gonna see a different Gobert. I think defensively he's gonna be Gobert, right? Duh. But I think you could see a tick up in his points per game and his rebounds per game, right? I think there might be a tick up in assists as well because they need to be able to move the ball, from the post as well. So I expect Rudy Gobert to have another solid defensive season, but really start opening some eyes offensively this season. And like I said, there's no disrespect to Shaq because Shaq is Shaq, okay? Ain't no arguing that. But Rudy Gobert does deserve some respect, though. Let's get to number 8. All right. Big Bam Adebayo, right? Adebayo is another defensive stalwart, man. I think he's got 5 all defensive team selections. So he knows what he's doing down there, right? The Heat have a way of doing things, and their big man Adebayo does his thing too. He having the double double nature that he does, and he scored 20 points one year, average 20 points one year. So he can score, right? He can put his head down and dominate on the boards, offensive rebounds, second chance baskets. He does the work, right? And he sets the tone defensively as well. And when you got a player like Jimmy Butler, who definitely sets the tone defensively, and is really good by the way. Anyway, yeah, yeah, you got a good team. But Adebayo definitely on my list of centers in the league, man. Um, but nonetheless, man, um, 71 games is good. If you can do that, you get this production for 70 some games, man. You're gonna win a lot of ball games, man. I put an emphasis on being available. That's what I like on my list, being available. So yeah, we'll see. All right. So Draymond Green obviously can play the 3, the 4, and the 5. And he can facilitate the offense while defending all 5 positions, right? Now, he is a little bit longer in the tooth, and the durability is starting to get a little question mark on it, right? 55 games, considering he's about a 60 game guy, I think on average. So, um, it should be interesting. Now, Draymond's gonna do him, okay? Like he's gonna do him. He's gonna give you this 8, 8, and 8, right? But he's gonna affect the game in a very big way, right? You don't get Stephen Curry open without Draymond. You don't have that defensive effort or intensity without Draymond Green, right? He sets the tone on both sides of the ball. And he's a capable jump shooter, so you can't just leave him open. The fact that he can the dribble handoffs, the pick and roll game, like all that. He affects the game so much and makes it easier for everybody on the court to get theirs. starts with Draymond. He's single-handedly probably one of the most important players in the Warriors dynasty. Without him, I don't think they win that many or any at all, to be honest with you. Now, with that being said, there is this looming contract dispute going on between him and the Warriors, right? Um, and the Warriors have a valid point of not wanting to pay him. One, he's older. Two, um, the durability is not there, right? Uh, if you're just looking at last season, and then his antics on the court, right? I'm not the only person that said that he probably cost them a couple championships, maybe one at least in my eyes, just one. Um, with those antics, not being on the floor, getting kicked out of the game, right? The Warriors have a reason to not want to pay him. They also have Jonathan Kuminga, who may not be able to do what he can do now, but maybe later he develops into that, right? But the question is, do they want to deal with it? And do they want to invest in a guy who's at the end of his career? Damn near, right? Or the high level career, should I say, right? So the Warriors have a point, but Draymond Green always also has a point that, man, I can do this forever. I can play this way and affect winning for a very long time. I don't have to be, you see the numbers. I don't have to be a 15-point game guy, 20-point game guy. I can affect the game going 10, 10, and 10. So he has a point. Like, yo, I'm still valuable in today's game. So if y'all want to keep me, y'all gonna have to pay me. And the Warriors got a point. We don't want to pay you because you're getting older and we kind of tired of the BS. But they understand how valuable he is too. So the fact that they have an impasse is not surprising to me. But I think if Draymond was to go into free agency or do whatever he wanted to do, I think personally a team would he would be a valuable commodity off the bench. Not even off the bench, a starting commodity on any team in the NBA right now. Because you need a guy like him who takes the game seriously, a proven winner, done one defensive player of the year, obviously won championships, and affects the offensive flow of the game and defense. So that's why Draymond Green is on my list. Baller, baller, baller. I like him a lot. So number 7. See number 6. All right, so Karl-Anthony Towns, man. So Karl-Anthony Towns, obviously, you heard the news, got traded to the Knicks from the Timberwolves. Timberwolves received Julius Randle and some players for compensation, right? So Karl-Anthony Towns is bringing 21.8 points a game, 8 rebounds, and 3 assists to the Knicks, right? The Knicks have so much talent on their team. They got Mikal Bridges. They've got Josh Hart. They've got Brunson. Right, this team made the playoffs and made the playoffs fun between the games the series that they had with the Pacers last year. Hard hitting, shit talking, back to the grind as far as what the playoffs is. Right. So my thing is, what does Karl-Anthony Towns bring to them besides his numbers? So Karl-Anthony Towns, obviously, he calls himself the best shooting big man of all time, and he's not wrong, man. His consistency with the 3-point shot and jump shots as well is important. Okay, you have to look at everything with Karl-Anthony Towns because on a good day, he can defend. On a bad day, he doesn't. On a good day, he can give you 40. On a bad day, he might not give you 20. You know? So Jalen Brunson being the scoring threat that he is, Karl Anthony Towns should be able to increase his scoring just being on the floor. So I think the trade is very good for the Knicks because Brunson might go from what 27, 28 last year to probably 30 because of the ability of Karl Anthony Towns. One, to stretch the floor, which means the lane is going to be open. He's a guy that doesn't need the ball as much as Julius Randle did. And the other guys, he has some shooting threats, and Mikal Bridges is such a good defender that he might not have to defend the best player all night, as far as the guard play is concerned. More energy leads to more scoring. So the Knicks are in a good spot, in my opinion, with Karl Anthony Towns, but he's number 6 on the list. Why? Because there's some way better centers, way better. Not by much though. All right, Domantas Sabonis, right? He is pure what today's game is, right? He's a pure carbon copy of what today's game is. The big man that can facilitate the offense, man. Having a guy that can not only give you 19, 13, and 8 for 82 games, mind you, all of them. He played all of them last year. So having this production on the Kings allowed them to get close to the playoffs. The addition of DeMar DeRozan will get them into the playoffs, right? This guy will be able to set screens and let Fox cook, let Monk cook, like all of that. DeRozan gonna cook because of his ball movement and his ability to set screens. And he's gonna be such a factor on the boards that the second chance points is gonna be there all game. Sabonis is so damn good, man. And the fact that he's in Sacramento, he don't get the love he deserves. But watch out for the Kings. They got a good ass team this year. And they gonna be something to behold in the Western Conference, man. So Sabonis is number 5, man. Great player. All right, Anthony Davis is my number 4 center. Now he doesn't play center all the time, but he plays power forward a lot. But he's in the paint either way. Anthony Davis has always had knick-knack injuries, right? Something, arm, ankle, elbow, finger, this, that, and the third, but never nothing that kept him out for a long time, right? So the fact that he can give you 76 games last year was awesome. Awesome. If I'm mistaken, I had to think about it, man. Did we make the playoffs last year? Because I'm a Lakers fan, so if we ain't winning no championships, I don't even care if we made the playoffs. It don't matter. But I think we made the playoffs last year, and it was cool, right? Anthony Davis is awesome, bro. You look at the numbers. Almost 25, 13, almost 13, and almost 4 assists a game. So that production over 76 games is wild to me. The only thing that I have a question about with AD is I want him to do that every night. Every night, bro. AD's so damn good he can do 30 and 15 every night. That's how good he really is. But the thing is, I wish he would dominate in the paint a little bit more. Like a lot of shots he take, which is not wrong because you have to stretch the floor. And the fact that he's so damn fast as a big guy, like he can stretch the floor and then drive right past anybody. He's that good. And he'll yam on you too. And I ain't even talk about defense. AD one of the best defensive big men in the game, defensive players in the game. So the thing about the Lakers is what kind of team are we gonna have? I don't know. Like this is the first time in a very long time that I don't know how good our team is gonna be or how bad our team is gonna be. I thought with Darvin Ham we ticked up on defense a little bit. Um, and I like that because it seemed like we were just so worried about offense and wasn't really worried about defense that much. But I don't know. LeBron has never shown a dip in his talent since he got into this late 30s, 40s age group. So I don't know if this the year we're gonna see LeBron look old. I don't know. I haven't seen it yet. But I keep saying if LeBron's on the team, you got a chance. We got Anthony Davis on the team, and we got a chance. It's about Austin Reeves, Rui Hachimura. It's about those guys. What are those guys gonna do? Can they take the next step in their respective roles at this point of their career to really help the team win? I don't know if a championship is in our path, but we still got a chance to make the playoffs because you got AD and you got LeBron. If you got to run the pick and roll with them all day, do it. Pick your poison. What you gonna do? You can't switch your big on LeBron. It's too fast. Definitely not gonna switch a small dude on Anthony Davis. He'll cook him all day. So pick your poison. But it just depends on what JJ Redick wants to do. I don't know. I don't know what philosophy he has in terms of using every player at his disposal. I don't know. New coach, no coaching experience. So the sky's the limit and the floor is the floor. So we'll see. I don't know. But Anthony Davis, definitely number 4 on the list. Get into the good stuff here. All right. So you look like, yo, Embiid number 3. You bugging, bro. You bugging, Cameron. That's wild. Now, before you turn off the video, listen to what I got to say. So, Embiid is one of the best players in the league. He's one of the best centers or big men in the league as well. But the only thing that's hurt him is durability. Can you get that 34, 11, and 5? Can you get that for at least 60 games? That's the key. When he plays, nobody's touching him. He's a powerful man with great touch around the basket and away from the basket. He is just that good, right? He's also a willing passer. He's willing to get his shooters involved or get the offense going, right? You see that. But the durability is a question mark every single year. How much of this production are you going to get? That's the key. That's the difference between Philly winning the championship or crashing out in the playoffs. That's the difference. Yeah. Now, with Paul George there, his scoring should take a dip, but everything else should be up. Should be able to get more rebounds, should be able to get more assists, more blocks, everything. So it just remains to be seen what type of production he's going to do. How much production he's going to give you and how many games. There's a report coming out that he's not going to play the back-to-backs, which I don't agree with. I know some of the old heads is out there saying that this is stupid. This is just that you should just play. But a player with his durability issues, it makes sense. The question is, how much does that affect the chemistry of the team? Because the back to backs, playing those, I think of not affects, but um helps you in the playoff run because you know went through the dog days of a back to back. Right, you get to the playoffs, man, playing hard games all the time. I feel like in the NBA, nothing's harder than playing back to backs, man. Especially, I guess, if you're traveling too with that. Um, you get to the playoffs, man. Playing those hard games, I think, is good for chemistry. So if you're not doing that, how much do you turn it up for the playoffs when you really haven't done that all season? That's my thing. Now everybody says, "Oh, the playoffs are different. You can turn it up." Yeah, for some people. But that's my biggest issue with the Sixers, Joel Embiid, and everything. That's why he's number 3 on my list. But number 2 might be controversial. See what y'all think. All right. So you probably like, "Oh, I'm definitely turning the video off now. I'm not watching this. This is ridiculous. How is Joel Embiid not better than Wemby?" It's exactly what I said, man. It is a thing I like to talk about. It is being available. Are you going to tell me that 34 points in 39 games is more valuable than a guy giving you 21, 10, almost 4, and like 4 blocks a game? I think I think having a guy like Wemby with the crazy fanfare that he came in with is wild to me, right? But that was just his first year. Coach Popovich is one of the greatest coaches to ever play. I mean, ever coach. I mean, he does what he does. He establishes defense. He makes everybody play defense. To give him a unicorn like this is crazy to me. But Wemby's defense is like the best, in my opinion. It's the best, and that's where I differ when it comes to Joel and Victor or Wemby. Is it's so important to have the availability. That's where I differ. That's where I think it differs. He plays more and he gives me more on the defensive end, right? And then as he matures and gets bigger and more acclimated to not only the playoff pressure, but the back to backs, dude, he's gonna be nice. Now, if I could do a 2A and 2B, I probably would have did that. But I just think those two factors, the availability and the fact that he gives it on defense. Not saying Embiid doesn't, but not like this. Victor's number 2 in my opinion. Maybe am I overrating him? I don't know. But that's just how I feel right now at the moment making this video. Victor's number 2. And you already know who number 1 is, man. Get real. The Joker is something else. Like if Demontis is a carbon copy of what today's game is, this is the archetype. It's far in between to see a center be the point guard. Point center, I don't think was a term until Jokovic got in this thing. He is a triple-double machine every night. And the most underrated part of his game is the fact that no matter how much you beat him up, no matter how much you try to pressure him down the court, or whatever the term is when you switch pick and rolls or whatever you do to try to stop him, he doesn't change his speed of play. He goes down on court, they get into their offensive sets. He either takes the shot, influences the shot, second chance buckets, getting the and ones, going to the free throw line, which he's great at. His 3-point shot is crazy. His mid range game is crazy. He shoots so high, you're not going to block it. He may not be the best defender, but it doesn't really matter because just like Luka, his offensive game is freaking absurd. The plays that you score on him on defense, he's going to make 5 more plays on offense that will just wipe that whole defensive sequences away. Being available, playing back to backs is important to me. I think for chemistry, for the playoff run, for the grind of 82 games. Jokic played 79 of those games last season. And he gave you 26, 12, and 9 from the center position. People say, oh man, Shea should have won MVP. Yeah. They say Luka should have won MVP. Yeah. Anthony Edwards probably could have won MVP. Yeah. But you can't say he's not the most valuable player, bro. Take him off of the Nuggets. What do they have? They lose a point guard for the majority of the game. To have a big man that affects your team this much on a game-to-game basis is crazy. Nobody on the list is doing what Jokic is doing. Night in and night out. Road games, home games, back-to-backs, nothing. Jokic is special. And we need to appreciate his game. Yeah, MVP is important, man. It's debate. It will be debated for years after we leave this planet. MVP is important, but this value is unmatched. I don't care if you score 30, 40 points a game. Sorry. You ain't winning MVP if he doing this every night. You're going to have to step your game up to win. Any other year, Shea probably win MVP. Luka probably win MVP. But this guy's special, man. Special. Like, I love his game, man. But that's the list, man. Broke down every position group in the NBA, man. What y'all think, man? Hits, misses? Let me know in the comment section, man. Really want some feedback here. But that's the list. That's the list. That's how I feel about the league's best players, man. If I had to say one list that I really kind of messed up on was the small forward list. I think I really messed that up, man. I gotta go back and look at my notes, man. Um, but I think I messed that up for sure. Yeah, I think I fucked that up because I didn't put Jimmy Butler on there. And that's disrespectful. That's disrespectful. I definitely messed that up. If I had to really go back and change something, I would definitely do that. So I gotta make it short or something to show my apology to Jimmy Butler because I definitely messed that up. But nonetheless, y'all know the drill, man. Like, subscribe, man, and let's get some feedback in here. But I'm Cam, Feeling Sports Media Network basketball analyst. I like the sound of that. This has been the basketball show, man. I'm up out of here. Peace.